Uh, All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Team Time. It is Monday, June 26th, and we are so excited to spend time in connection and community with every one of you. I have had life happen to me in the last week. I don't know about you, but I've just been having some life happen. And I read this quote by the Velveteen Rabbit that really stood out to me. And I thought I'd just share it with you. It says, "You become. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily or have sharp edges or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you're real, most of your hair has been loved off, your eyes drop out, and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all because once you're real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand." And I know we all have that just favorite stuffed animal that we can picture. Mine is over 60 years old and it was my father-in-law's, and it doesn't even have all of its parts, but we love it so much. And I just have been thinking as I've been going through my own season of life that we all have seasons, right? And it's all a part of our becoming. It makes us stronger, it makes us more resilient, it makes us more grateful. And so we wanted to start tonight by just kind of remembering what it's all about and what we're doing, why we're even here. And so I would love for you right now to put in the chat something that your coach has done or said to you that has made an impact in your life. So just pop that in the thread, and we are going to hear from a client. That's right, she is not a coach yet, but she is an incredible client that is a light to so many people. And her name is Leisha. And Leisha, we would love to hear from you. I know your journey to Optavia has been pretty life-changing in several different ways. Would you share with us how your life has been changed because of Optavia and your coach, Meredith?
Hello, party people. Yes, hi, I'm so happy to be here. Optavia has been a godsend. It is so awesome. Everyone on this call should already know that, but if you don't know, it's awesome, and I just love it. My life, I had got to a point where I was at a standstill, and with my weight, I was in school, and I gained like weight, stress eating over a math class. But Optavia came into my life, and it has totally changed everything around. So far, since April the 11th, I lost like 23 pounds, and it's been a constant loss for weeks until last week. But that's okay because I didn't lose, I didn't gain either. But I feel amazing, mental clarity, more energy, more determination. And since I lost the 23 pounds, my blood pressure, which I had a problem with, even on the medication, has become super calm, super low. So I'm going to see my doctor soon, and hopefully he's going to take me off that one blood pressure pill I'm still on. So I just want to encourage everybody, especially our coaches, because I know, like Meg said, life happens. But I want you guys to know that you coaches, the party people, the one that keep us encouraged, you are the heartbeat of everyone that's on this Optavia experience. You have set the pace. You guys light the tune. You start the tune. You reduce our insecurities. You give us the hand to hold when we can't walk. You know, like your mom and your parents used to fish your boo-boo when you was a little kid. You are the guys that fix our boo-boo, and we wanted to let you know, I want to let you know how much I appreciate you, and I speak for everybody. Meg also mentioned something about life. You know, life happens. So there are challenges, not only to you, but also to our coaches. You guys are the ones that encourage us when we slip and fall. And like I said, you fix our boo-boos. And you also give us real life realness to encourage us. You don't beat us down. You get us back on track. And you say, okay, get back on that bike and ride it. Just ride that bike. You fail, you skid your knee, but get back on that bike and ride it. And that's a really good way to look at it, even when we slip. Oh, I ate a piece of cake. I had a dream the other night that I ate a whole Subway sandwich with the bread, and I thought that was a nightmare. But you guys are the ones who are our our enlightenment. I just want you guys to be encouraged. Also, I want you to know you are the guys that pat us on the back when we need that little extra encouragement. You guys, I think about it. It doesn't always work. Do we always follow what our coaches say? No, not always. In the real world, maybe, but not always. So sometimes we fall off the wagon, and sometimes we make excuses, and sometimes we blame the dog. The dog got in my box. He ate all my feelings. And so sometimes we blame our family members where they had a gun to my head and told me if I don't eat this cake, I'm gonna die. But of course, our our coaches, they would be the ones that say, "Oh, girl, you're not gonna die. Just get back on the wagon, get back on that bike, and ride it." Of course, we know that it can be frustrating when you try to help us and we don't listen. But I want you guys to keep heart. Don't give up on us. Please keep hope alive because there is hope. Believe me, for the ones who are serious, we need you. We need our coaches. So most of us just need a little bit more than others, a little bit more than others. So lastly, I just want to say, you had your challenges, you had your personal ups and downs. Life happens, right? But just breathe. Just breathe. Look in that mirror when you get a chance. Look at yourself. See all of those faces that you have. Look in the mirror. See all of those faces smiling back at you. See all of those grandkids who got their grandparents back. See all of those spouses that got their marriages back because of what you did as a coach, because of Optavia. See all of those pretty smiles coming back at you. Then look at yourself in the mirror and say, I helped that person to get their life back.
Oh,
And
Leisha.
realize that you are so important. We love you guys. We want you to be encouraged. And yay, Optavia.
Yay. Oh my gosh. I hope you can see all these smiling comments, Leisha. And I love all your posts and Eat, Live, and Be Healthy. And thank you. I know it's, part of your busy day, but coming to share with us, I can't think of a better way to have opened this call. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah, like we just really, I think part of what we know about the culture of our organization is really want to keep it real. Like we are here on purpose with meaning, but you know what, it gets hard at times. And we have been like in a season, you might call it winter, just kind of dry right now. Would you agree? And it's been challenging. I know you're feeling it in your businesses, and of course, Meg and I do as well, because we're, everything we're doing is our own individual clients as well as supporting you. So it's felt all over. And I just want you to know that, at times I feel scared. I feel like what is happening here, and we are doing our best to stay up to date with the latest of everything that's going on in the industry. And we can't wait to share some information with you that we've been learning on, because we want to bring value and really in today's changing world, how do we adapt, right? Because the world is asking us to change how we show up as coaches. But one of the things I wanted to share before we go much further is, part of all of this, we're fortunate we've got convention around the corner. Several of us are registered for convention. We've got 4 more days to register. It closes on June 30th. And if you haven't registered yet, we really want you to. But 2 of the big reasons we want you to be there are, one, just for that culture, the community, to be with us in person. We have a private team time event just for us, and there's nothing like that intimate in-person connection. But they're also going to have the scientists there do all the training, and you're going to have the ability to purchase the products that are coming out as part of the active. But we are narrowing down our offerings really for all of our benefit, to save us time, to save our expenses, et cetera. So Meg and I and the leadership team have been really looking at what we've been offering, and wanted to let you know that we are not going to offer, we had talked to said that we were going to have Awaken for the 3rd year, which was specifically for our team, executive directors and above, that we have made the really hard decision not to offer that this year, that we're going to put that on pause. And that gives it the ability that more of us can come to convention. So if that was something you were on the fence on, we want to talk to your leader about it. But also there, Optavia has a leader for FIBIC and above. That's at the end of October. And we want to be able to help and support you to grow your business so that you can go on the incentive trip. as well. So speaking of convention, several years ago when Lauren Yeomans was a new coach, I saw potential in her. Meg came to me and she's like, I want Lauren there. Can you talk to her or whatever? And together we spoke to Lauren numerous times about convention. But Lauren, I want you to kind of share what happened when you went and why it's so important to you to continue to go.
Yeah. So I had a lot of reasons why I couldn't go. I didn't have time off. I was in a very new job, the nurse practitioner. My schedule was already full with patients. I had just started coaching 2 months prior. I was in a wedding the weekend before in Washington, like lots of things. But Dee just kept calling me every week. And so I sat down with my boss and just was like, hey, I really feel like I need to do this, and was able to figure out childcare and make it happen. And honestly, I was really nervous. I didn't know what to expect. It was in St. Louis. This was 5 years ago. And I remember walking in. Well, I remember meeting some people in the line while I was getting my convention swag, and just being really impressed by just the quality of people and how social people were. And then I went into the room, and at that convention there were 6,000 people. I think about 6,000 in St. Louis, and just walked in and was just like blown away by how many people were in the room, and the energy and the excitement, and just hearing story after story of people from the stage that had impacted so many people, and from all different walks of life and all different backgrounds. And I remember just thinking, oh my gosh, like, this is like the real thing. Like, I could really do this. Like, this could be what I do, full time. And I had always thought that I was going to have to continue working full time as an NP. And the time I had a 2-year-old or 1-year-old. And so anyway, I was just blown away. I came back with such an excitement, and honestly, my business exploded in the 8 months, 10 months post convention, because I just came back and I literally talked to everybody that I knew pretty much about being a client, but also about coaching. And I just was not afraid, not ashamed, because I saw what was possible. I caught the vision and I saw what was possible, and was just so, I would not have missed it. And so I just am looking at each of you. And if you have not signed up yet, see if you can figure out a way to be there, because you will not want to miss it. And I guarantee it will be a catalyst to move you forward in your business and your life. There's so much more than just business talk there. It's really personal development, growth, community. So much will happen there that you don't want to miss. So thanks, Dee, for talking over and over and encouraging me to be there. And thanks, Meg, for just everything that you've done, and just really grateful. So thank you, guys.
I love that. Thanks for sharing, Lauren. And if you've been on the fence, not sure, especially now that we're not going to have our own individual team event, reach to your coach, to Meg, to whoever's in your mentorship line. We're happy to have a conversation just to see if it's going to be the best decision for you to be there. Most times it is. Like I said, we're exploring all different things, and Meg and I came across an opportunity to take a course called Love, Serve, Grow that was offered by Bob Heilig. And Bob Heilig is a direct sales network marketing guru. And he does great training, personal development training, business skills training. But Love, Serve, Grow, I mean, that sounds so much about the way we are, right? As an organization, we're one that is filled with love. We come from a place of wanting to serve, but we also want to grow. So we started taking this, and I will tell you, the first day I felt better immediately. And I'm just going to say this because it made me feel better. But what I realized is that kind of this downturn we're experiencing, I had some crazy thoughts going on. I was like, maybe it's Optavia. Maybe it's the weight loss drugs. Maybe it's nobody wants to do the hard things. Maybe too many people have tried this, and, whatever. I started to think like, wow, like what is happening? But in my soul, I knew, and I know, we've got the goods, right? We've got the goods. Nobody offers what we offer. in terms of the trilogy of health, but most importantly, the 4 components of our program. And that is what is needed for sustainable long-term change. So I know in my heart, what we have can change somebody else's life for the better in every way. So what I want to do is learn how to deliver it better. But what he shared was that this is an industry thing. And we talked about some of this last week, but pre-COVID, the way I built my business pre-COVID looks very different than what I've been doing lately, because COVID and the pandemic led to an environment where people were home, they had more money, and they were on social media, and they were like, sure, why not? Flash a before and after up, flash your story. And people were messaging left and right, right? But I don't know about you, but nobody has private messaged me about a before and after in months, right? Months, like it's just not generating what it used to. And that is because the environment's changing, the economic times have changed, and what people are looking for is they are looking for value. And what we as coaches want to do is discover and learn the skill of becoming a transformational seller. Now you are selling life change. And if you get uncomfortable with the word sell, I would encourage you to read the book To Sell is Human by Daniel Pink. Whether you're talking to your children, your spouse, trying to get a deal at the grocery store, like you are selling. And so what we're selling is the solution to somebody else's problems. So we are paid problem solvers and solution providers. And that only happens through getting to know people and developing your skill of asking questions and getting to the root of what somebody else needs. Because we can talk at them, we can flash before and afters, we can flash products, but until somebody sees the specific value, whether that is the program itself or coaching, it's not going to land. And in fact, in today's world, it can create sales resistance where people just get completely turned off. So much of our emphasis is going to be on our mindset, and then how are we showing up in the world to solve other people's problems. Does that make sense? I mean, do you like the way that sounds? Because that's what I know I want, when I'm out there in the marketplace. So I want to show up in a way that shows the value to somebody else. And in Synergy, we started our new Synergy, this will be our 3rd week in it, but in last week in Synergy, which is a small group coaching that we're doing with myself, we talked about our personal goals. We talked about getting really clear on it. What is it we want? How are we going to show up? And then what's the impact it's going to make in our business? And I want to have Robin Howarth come on and share, because she was the first one to go, and she had to on the spot think about what is it she wanted, because that's not your stage presented answer. It's the real deal. But Robin also was one of the first on our team to get the 3% bonus of 3 new clients. So she's doing something and showing up in a way that is working and impacting others. So Robin, I want to turn it over to you.
Yeah. Hey, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. So first, I just want to say that the past many, many months have been slow, right? I've been in a drought, stagnant. I have felt very hesitant about reaching out to people. And for me, I've come to realize that it really starts with my own health first. And I was noticing that things were kind of going on in my personal life that I think were also then being reflected in the drought, stagnant state. And so when I am committed to me and cultivating my health, I know that I'm better able to focus on carrying out and working toward goals and other aspects of my life and business. And so as Dee mentioned in Synergy, she was like, okay, so I want you to tell me your goals for your health, your life, and your business. Go. Okay. So for me, for my health, my overarching goal is to maintain what I've achieved with my health. I've never done that before, right? I've always been on a hamster wheel. So for me, maintaining what I've achieved with my health and wellness is a very big goal of mine. And so I identified specific things that I am going to continue doing with my nutrition, with my hydration, with my movement, and with my mindset in terms of my reading. And these are things that I've recently learned with a journey that I did on 75 Hard. In terms of life, my goals were ultimately to show up in a true and authentic way while cultivating meaningful connections. And so for me, the way that I'm going to work on that is to continue in my own therapy that I have. That way I can continue to identify and be aware of patterns of behavior and work through traumas and different responses that I have to things that come up in my life. But then two concrete things that I'm also working on are, number one, letting people know that I'm thinking about them. So just letting people who are on my heart know that they're on my heart. And then secondly, letting people know when I am struggling. That is something I've historically not been very good at all, because I've always put this pressure on myself to have a very well-articulated answer or a very well-articulated reason or rationale for what's been going on and what I need. And so I'm sort of trying to just take that pressure off of myself and letting people know when I'm struggling, even if I don't know exactly what it is that I'm struggling with or what I need. And ultimately, I think that then can translate into my business. Because for me, my goal is to grow my business to be able to serve more people and to ultimately help and guide more people. Certainly the way that I think about that concretely is, sure, ranks and incentives and ED and crews and all of that. For me though, and this is something I've had to reconcile, that it's not for me so much about the rank, it's what those things represent. So for example, when I achieve the rank of ED and when I do achieve the incentive crews, it's going to be because I know it was a culmination of my courage, and thinking of it as that means that for me to achieve those things, I had to be bold and brave. And that means that I'm facing my fears and I'm ultimately approaching people about coaching, because ultimately I would like to coach coaches. It means that I'm leaning into different opportunities that present themselves and I'm building genuine connections with people. So it's ultimately what those things represent to me is how I'm thinking about it. And so for me, part of what I've done, it's not been anything magic. I think instead of just thinking that things would happen through telepathy, which apparently has been my, I don't know, mindset or approach the last many months, I realized that I actually needed to do something like concrete. And so by writing things down, that makes it more real too, right? When I didn't write it down, then I didn't really technically fail because I didn't really write it down anyway. And so I'm now just being super intentional about coming from a place and space of authentic connection rather than trying to get a client or achieve a rank. I'm reminding myself not to be married to the outcome. Thank you, Dee. I love that so much. And I know that these things will happen as long as I'm leading from the heart and building things from a space of genuine care. And so part of what I have done is I've identified my goals and I've discussed a plan for making these things come to fruition. So I met with my mentorship team. I'm attending all the webinars that I'm able to attend. I wrote down my goals. I brainstormed with a friend of mine who is a coach for another company, and we just exchanged ideas. I created a color-coded Excel spreadsheet where I'm just keeping track of people on my hot list. I'm also adding every person who likes or comments on anything that I put out on social media. And I've committed to reaching out to 3 people each day simply to start a conversation and connect. So for example, the other morning I was taking a walk in Roswell and it was along the river and I saw people rowing. And it reminded me of my college roommate who was like always up at 5 a.m. to row. And I thought that that was cool. I wish that I could have done that at that time. And so I was just like, hey, girl, I like was walking this morning and saw rowing. It made me think of you and, you know, like our times in college, hope you're doing well. And she was like, oh my gosh, that was like the most amazing thing. Thank you so much. So it's just little, I don't know, just little stuff like that. But it's genuine, right? It's not because I'm trying to get someone. And I think that once I got into action, I just noticed an energy shift within myself, which has just led to what feels like increased conversations and opportunities for connections. So my 3 new clients, they came randomly. One saw something on Instagram and she filled out my job form, and then we had a health assessment. Then she needed to think on it. Then she's like, oh, my husband actually did this and he wants to do it with me. Cool, we'll both do it. I'm like, okay. And then another one was like a friend from high school who saw something and she's really struggling in life. And so then we connected and, and then we did a health assessment. And so I think I'm just feeling more confident and energized. And certainly while I know that seasons will continue to ebb and flow, right? I'm just being reminded for myself that leading from the heart and focusing on building connections is the priority. By being bold and brave, I'm confident that things will continue to play out. However it is that looks over time.
Wow, Robin, I hope you take a minute to look in the chat because it's blowing up for you. You shared so many nuggets. I couldn't possibly name them all, but what I love that you reminded us, it's not about the outcome. It's not an outcome. We just want to love on the people. And such a great reminder. We're not trying to get someone. We're not trying to get that or get that client or get that coach. I think we all know that everybody has a need, right? And one of the things that I learned in this Bob Heilig class that we had, that we went to, was the importance of taking a step back, stop thinking about what I am wanting, and really find out what they need, right? So I have this note card that I have now put on my computer monitor, and it's very simple. It has 2 questions. What do they need, and how can I help? What do they need and how can I help? And it might not be anything related to Optavia, but we know that action begets action. That's why when Robin gets into action and just messages people and starts those conversations, she adds new clients. Absolutely incredible. Such great things to be reminded of. Thank you, Robin. Another great tidbit that we learned in this class was, instead of following up with people the way that we always have, which is, hey, just wanted to follow back up with you, which to them just means, hey, just wanted to know if I'm going to get that sale, right? We're making it about us, right? Or we're trying to mark something off our list, or, get that income or whatever. Instead of doing that, and if you've done that, that's okay. I've done it too, right? But a better approach is to go back to them, let them know first that you've been thinking about them. Second of all, that you've been thinking about their particular issue. And third, offer a solution. So maybe you want to say something like, hey, Leisha, I was thinking about you and your struggle with getting your 64 ounces of water in. Have you considered buying a new water bottle or whatever it is, right? You want to offer them value. And when you offer them value, they're gonna know, right? They're gonna be reminded of you. It's such a great way to follow up because you're showing them you are on their side. So just wanted to share that. It was so huge. The other thing that I just love that he shared, because we always are talking about, okay, how do we talk about coaching and bring it up organically? And sometimes we ask the question like, okay, well, are you ready to become a coach? Are you ready? And he said, people love to serve others. So as much as you cannot make it about that action of making a choice to start coaching or making it about the income or whatever, but just to take a step back and say, hey, do you know anyone else who is struggling with their own weight loss right now? And ask them, would you like to help them? What would that feel like to help them? You can even ask some really great questions around it. But I thought that was a great new approach. And people love being a helper, right? We all love everybody on this call. You wouldn't be here if you didn't like helping other people. So just some really great tidbits that I think will really help as we keep going and keep the conversations flowing. Dee, you have some more things to share, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that our time is getting a little limited on sharing more about Bob. So next week on July 3rd, which is right before the holiday, we will meet and we're going to have a more interactive discussion where maybe you can even bring a scenario like, hey, I talked to this girl and it bombed, and we can just kind of look at it. Or I really want to talk to this person, but I don't know what to say. And we'll do interactive with that. So if you're available, I would really encourage you to be on next week. The other thing is, we are going to offer a new experience for clients, for new clients, for our existing clients, called Fit and Free. And we're going to be releasing some information on that soon, but a way to help people reconnect into our system or connect into our system. And we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to put some urgency, special private Facebook group just for these people. We're not going to do it in Eat, Live, and Be Healthy. And we're going to give you about 2 weeks run-up time to find people to join us. And so we're going to start on July 17th, and that gives us exactly 6 weeks before Labor Day. So it's a way that individuals can stay focused. So we're excited about that. But in this private Facebook group, we're going to do like a pre-startup. So if you've got people who want to get started right away, we're gonna start earlier for those people. So so we're excited. Watch for info on that. And I think that's the majority of it. Meg, did I forget anything?
No, I don't think so. I think that was it.
All right. Well, fantastic. Tonight, the community call is actually on the topic of community. If you haven't yet, encourage you to reach out, text your clients, ask them to join you on that call and join in yourself. And we'll see you in the Facebook group and register for convention. If you're on the fence, do it. You can get the $25 off, and registration closes this Friday, June 30th. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Alicia, for sharing with us. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Meg. We hope it brought tremendous value, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.